to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm going to your host, Shinry, here with the Everything Anime Podcast, talking from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, never really the topic we're talking about. Today's video is on One Piece, chapters 1157 to 1159. The birth of Shanks, Shamrocks, and Teech. Now, you're probably also wondering why I'm wearing a Demon Slayer shirt. Probably not. It's because I'm an anime fan. You guys already know I review Demon Slayer. I'm not going to review Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. I will just tell you it's fucking amazing. It's great. Very faithful to the adaptation of the manga. And there was no filler, no recap like the Hashira Training Arc movie. This was a genuine good time. So definitely recommend Demon Slayer Infinity Castle if you have not seen it in theaters. Just a little plug in because I did enjoy the movie. And we've already talked about Demon Slayer and how it ends, so if you've seen my Demon Slayer videos, you know exactly my thoughts on Demon Slayer. Anyways, let's get into the One Piece video because that's what you're here for. So, we know in current age, it's known as the Great Pirate Era, started by Gold D. Roger or Gold D. Roger. However, before Gold Roger ever had his own era, before that, it was known as the Rocks era. Rocks and his crew, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki the Golden Lion, and all them other crazy pirates, they were causing chaos for the world government for 2 years straight. I mean, Rocks killed a Marine Admiral. He saw Emu's face, was in Emu's throne, saw Vivi's ancestor, just big chilling. Rocks was crazy. Rocks was doing damage, okay? He was wild. And the world government covered up nearly like 25 of his crimes. They go on and on about everything he did, but I wasn't going to list all that for you guys. But basically, Rocks, again, was that pirate. He was the emperor of the sea. There was no emperors of the sea. He was the emperor of the sea. Meanwhile, King Harold was also being framed by the world government as though he tried to let giants join the world government. They were like, hey, King Harold, if you ain't with us, you against us, because King Harold had came across a ship of Marines, capturing prisoners, normal everyday people, and King Harold's like, hey, what do you want those people? And they're like, hey, mind your business, keep going, and we'll one day let you be a part of the world government. We already got some of your giants in the world government, but hey, we'll let more of you in. Just mind your business, turn a blind eye. And King Harold ain't like that. He wants to protect all of humanity. He wants to join humans, and if the world government's going to do that, he sunk their ship. He's like, I'm not going to let this crime happen. You're going to free these people. And so the world government was like, oh, giants suddenly attack a ship for no reason. And everybody on board died. Like, no, bitch. Y'all tried to capture normal everyday people for the celestial dragons and your manhunt, and King Harold saved them. So I'm like, it's crazy that King Harold, even knowing this, still... I mean, I get why he wants giants to join the world government. He wants giants to be a part of the world and be seen as everyday people and accepted. But, like... Harold, they're capturing everyday people, including they try to kill you and frame you multiple times. Like, it's crazy. And so again, Rocks tried to recruit Harold, and he's like, hey, look, do you realize now, no matter what you do, Harold, you can work for them, you can fight for them. They will always just see you as a slave. They will never see you as an equal. They will never see giants as nothing more than a tool for their own power. And King Harold's like, hey, this is the only way I can help my people. And Rocks is like, you big idiot, there's no getting through to you. We also learned that Gorp and King Harold were friends at one point, but also the world government was slowly trying to increase their power and rank, so I already talked about this. So the giants that the world government did let into the world government, it was so they could have more control, because giants are powerful, giants can crush people, giants easily overpower normal humans. So they had a little bit of giants come in, but they didn't want too many, because if somebody like King Harold attacked them, like Rocks be doing, they'd be like, oh, we fucked. And even now, Emu, he's turned Dory and Broggy into his little minion slaves, because he knows the power of giants. He knows if I can get all these giants on my side, we'll be unstoppable. We then get a meeting between a young Gorp, Sengoku, and two other characters we should be familiar with. Otsuru, which I think is that dry lady that hangs people up to dry. And then Kong, who I'm not 100% sure who this is, but I feel like since these are past characters, we should know who they are. They're arguing about how giants can just crush a normal human without trying, and that's why the world government is against them. But at the same time, half the world government wants to use them. Gorp's like, oh, they're fine, they're nice people, I'm friends with King Harold. And Sengoku's like, yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem. And the other two are like, well, they could crush and kill us easily. So you see both sides, but we already know the corruption of the world government. We've seen that all throughout 159 chapters of One Piece. Not everybody's evil. Like, we know Kobe's not evil. We know Aokichi's not evil. Barcelino is kind of iffy. Vegapunk wasn't evil. We know that there's some good in the world government, but there are a lot more evil and bad ones. We now skip the 42 years in the past. Again, we're getting closer to that 14 years ago. We're about to find out how King Harold died. We're getting closer. 42 years ago in the past, we learned that Shaky had stepped down from being the captain of the Kuja Pirates. Shaky was like, hey, I no longer want to be a pirate. I don't want to be an empress. I don't think it was Boyle Hancock yet, because it was 42 years ago. But she's like, hey, somebody else take over this throne. I'm out of here. Peace. It turns out Shaky left to chase Rayleigh, but in order to do that, she first needs to go into hiding and show she can to Pirate Island to do that, because she's still a pirate. So even though she quit being a pirate, the world government's like, hey, you were still a pirate once. Like, we don't care. I mean, I don't think she quit being a pirate. She just like no longer wanted to live on that island. She wanted to chase Rayleigh and be with Rayleigh. And so she's like, hey, I'm going to hide on Pirate Island because, the world government ain't fucking with you, Rocks. The world government ain't willing to come to this island. They were scared to come here. So I know I can hide here for a little bit. And once the heat cools down, I'm going to go. I'm going to bounce. I know I'd be like, add ball twist to it. But of course, Rocks had no objection to this. They were all in love with Shaky. They all thought Shaky was the most beautiful woman in the world. Goldie Roger thought that. I think every man did that. Even Big Mom could appreciate her beauty. So, and I love that when she first gets there, she opens a bar on Pirate Island called Shaky's Ripoff Bar. I thought that was kind of hilarious. Like, she just outright said, like, oh yeah, this bar's a ripoff. Like, you gonna come here and I ain't gonna give you shit that you want. You gonna spend money, okay? Meanwhile, the five elders had plans of their own for bargaining with King Harold and finally giving him what he wants. They're like, you know what, Harold, we will let you join the world government. We will let giants into the world government. We just want you to do one small thing for us. Can you guess what that one thing is? They're like, we want you to kill your best friend. They went Itachi Sasuke on their ass. So like, your best friend, you must kill him.
Take the life of your best friend. You must kill him.
You want to join the world government? Sure, we'll let you in. Kill Rocks. You're the only one that can do it because we can't. So I was like, that's crazy. And we don't know if King Harold killed Rocks yet. The Battle of God Valley is after this chapter. It's after these chapters. It starts. It's just starting. And we know all the players are there. Gorp, Roger, Rocks, obviously. And King Harold, if he wants to join the world government, he might have something to do with that. Meanwhile, back on Roger's ship, Rogers is upset that Shaky went not only to Pirate Island, but she still rejects him for Rayleigh, even leaving him a love note, basically saying like, hey, Rayleigh, I've gone to Pirate Island. If you want me, come find me or come save me or something like that. It was given like, not exactly Nami's message to Luffy, but like, again, if you see One Piece Strong World, I'm not going to spoil it because I recommend watching that movie. But it's sad if you know what I mean. She's like, basically, come get me. And I was like, that's really funny because we know that in present day, Rayleigh and Shaky have been seen together. He's at Santiago Archipelago with her all the time in her bar. But Roger didn't give up that easily. Pirates take what they want. And he's like, hey, Rayleigh, we're going after her, right? And Rayleigh was like, yeah, sure, why not? The rest of the crew's like, hell yeah, let's do it. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. And so they decided to go to Pirate Island to chase after her. We then skip 2 more years into the future, 40 years now in the past. St. Garling, the father of Shanks and Shamrocks, the leader of the Holy Knights, planned to go to God Valley for the world government's next tourney. And we know that from Bartholomew Kuma's backstory that this is where their 6 Hunger Games is. Their manhunt, where they like put targets on people. We know Ivankov was there. We know Kuma was there. We know Ivankov's right hand was there. They were like among the people that were getting chased down. There's a lot more backstory to that here, but it's coming up to that. Now back on Pirate Island, Roger arrives in just in the nick of time, and we get a small hint that Blackbeard has recently become a father. Like I think some people are talking. It's like, again, you have to like pay attention to the context clues, but like people are talking in the bar and then they're like, hey, Blackbeard, you're glowing, you look like the face of somebody who just had a kid. And he's like, shut the fuck up, you idiot. Because just like Roger, when Roger had a kid, remember, Ace's mother kept him in her womb for 2 years after Roger died. She didn't want people to know that Goldie Roger had a child because that child would be hunted and seen as the devil. Even though Goldie Roger was a very nice man. And Black Rocks is the same way. He's like, hey, people can't know I got a child. Shut the fuck up. You know, if people know that Teech is alive, Teech has been born, they're going to hunt my child down. We also then learned that there's no fighting in Shaky's bar, so the two don't immediately start battling. And Shaky says the line out there is two years long. How the hell did you get in here? It's a 2-year wait time. And of course, everybody's passed out because of fucking Goldie Roger's conqueror's hockey. They're all like passed out on the ground. I thought that was hilarious. Like when Shanks stepped onto Whitebeard's ship, and only Marco and a few others were aware. Like, if you're not aware when someone has conqueror's hockey, you're gonna pass out just from their presence. Anyways, later, Rox then went to go visit his friend King Harold again. Harold really did try to kill him, despite Rox trying to convince him the world government simply using him. So, Rox never gave up on King Harold. Like, they were friends. Like, Rox saw King Harold as a friend, and King Harold, I think he did see Rox as a friend as well. Like, as many times they battled, they have a lot of these conversations where they just sit down and talk. But, like, that's how they greet each other. Remember, Goldie Roger and Whitebeard fought for 3 days and 3 nights. So, you know, it ain't, you know, you're still having friendly conversations, but we still pirates at the end of the day. King Harold's reasons are good, though. He wants giants to be a part of the world government because his people are suffering. People are scared of giants. People, you know, at one point they went through a famine, you know, out of food sources, out of warmth, out of clothing. And it was a Hunger Games on Elbath itself. And then King Harold went and told the humans about it. And the humans like, hey, we can help you guys. So the world does want to, you know, not just liberate each other, but like help each other. So it's only the celestial dragons and the motherfuckers and the Marines that are like, no, you can't do that. We don't want you guys doing stuff like that. And we know how they are because the world government, King Harold doesn't know this because this is present day, but 4 giants we met so far have already been tricked by the world government. 2 were protecting the gates of justice. And in this lobby, they were tricked that, hey, the giants in here, but you served this gate for 100 years, we'll let them go. And several other giants throughout the years. I know Harjuin wasn't, what's his name? Doflamingo wasn't exactly with the world government, but he was like a warlord at one point. So he kind of was tied into the world government, but Harjuin was being used. And then we met other giants as well. So we know the giants are always being used by the world government. We know that in present day, even though King Harold doesn't know that. But this is the last time that Rox and King Harold can see each other as friends until the incident it talks about, which I'm assuming is what happens either 14 years ago or it happened. Well, no, because Rox died. Rox's crew was disbanded on God Valley. And it talks about the team up of how Gort became the hero of the Marines and Goldie Roger took him down. So something happened. I think the last time they meet is going to be that the incident is it has to be on God Valley. Rox couldn't get his friend to see the truth, however, and Harold refused to turn on his people. So once again, they fought each other and then they went their separate ways. Now, just 1 year beyond that, Shanks and Shamrocks were born on God Valley. So 1 year later, I think, so we jumped to 40 years. I think we're now at 39 years in the past. Now, we even get a glimpse of their mother just from the back, but we don't see her face. And we learn that she also had red hair. So the people say to her, like, oh, your kids get your red hair from you. Now, I thought St. Garling had red hair as well because that's their father, but I'm assuming like maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen St. Garling in the anime yet. But even if his hair is red, they're saying they got it from the mother. Either way, it doesn't matter. 39 years ago now in the past, Shaky was kidnapped from Pirate Island. They said it happened within a matter of hours. Someone in the world government went in there, they got Shaky, and they got out of there before anybody else noticed. And I think it was when Rox was gone, because if Rox was there, the Rox pirates would have fucked him up, like, badly. The news spread like wildfire, and immediately Roger, who was in love with her, was pissed off, and Rayleigh was worried. Rayleigh's like, hey, Shaky's been kidnapped. We gotta go protect her. He might be in love with her. Like, it's hinting that, like, the word look on his face, it might be love or just compassion or care because she's in love with him. So, or even just as a friend. And so, they all were like, hey, we're going to go save Shaky. There ain't no second thought about it. Secondly, St. Garling, a year later, came to see his twin sons, not the mother of his children. And there's a reason I'm saying that. Not the mother of his children, not his wife, not his lover. I'm saying the mother of his children because something that happens later. Because he tells her he's found a new wife more befitting of him And once he wins attorney on God Valley, she's gonna be his. And his wife and the mother of his child is understandably confused. She's like, "What do you mean, a wife more befitting of you? I just had your 2 children. I just had your sons, Shamrocks and Shanks. What you mean?" Until he kills her without hesitation. That's when she understands. He like stabbed her. And I was like, "Dan, can we not hate the Celestial Dragons or the Holy Knights even more? Like, we already hate y'all, and now you're making us hate y'all even more. You killed your wife. You're like, hey, you served your purpose. You gave me children. Okay, die." Like, what the fuck? They immediately begin taking over God Valley, all the Marines, and St. Garling, and killing anyone who resisted or ran away, and arresting the others for their attorney who surrendered. So they're like, hey, if they don't surrender, just shoot them down now. But hey, if they want to, it doesn't make it better, because it makes it worse. Like, if you didn't surrender, you get shot. If you do surrender, hey, we're gonna play a game. For 3 weeks, if you can run away and escape us, you get to live. You get to keep your life. But if you get caught, you get to die. It's disgusting. The Celestial Dragons and the world government in this manga is disgusting. I hate it. Not Oda, because this is a story of One Piece, it's a story of pirates. But I hate how the Celestial Dragons act. Now, one of the Marines, like Kobe, had a spine and asked, "What the fuck are we doing?" And can you guess who it was? Can you guess the Marine that questioned what's going on? You might think it was Gorp, because Gorp obviously knew about this manhunt and didn't do anything about it. It kind of makes you kind of conflicted more about Gorp. But it was actually Monkey D. Dragon. Yeah, motherfucking Dragon, bitch. This is why Dragon became a revolutionary. He saw firsthand what the world government was doing. He was like, okay. At first, he's like, okay, we're just using tranquilizer bullets. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm doing my job. I'm doing what they say. My father is a Marine admiral. He definitely knows what's going on. Until he started seeing people getting shot for no reason that were like running away. I was like, oh yeah, this is why your son is a revolutionary. Gore, do not be surprised. Your son was on the Manhunt Island. He was on God Valley. He saw what the fuck happened. We also already know from Bartholomew Kuma's backstory that, again, Kuma and his right-hand men were there, and Bartholomew Kuma was there, and Ivankov was there, so we know that they're on an island, too, about to be in that manhunt. We also then see a young Morgans, who's currently the newspaper leader of the world, and he was already ready to expose the world government, and it was threatened. He was like, hey, I already know what's happening on God Valley. I can expose this to the whole world, let them all know what you 6 celestial fucks are doing. Or you can pay me. You can keep me in the loop. And they were like, what? They're like, oh, he's like, yeah, and don't even try to kill me. You try to kill me, this all leaks. It's like, Morgans was that bitch even back then. Morgan's that bitch now. He still be like, tweaking the news. Almost at Fox News. He be tweaking it to how it wants it, to how he wants it worded and fitted to make the world government look good and him look good, because they keeping his pockets full. But yeah, Morgan was slick even back then. We then learn Shaky is the prize for the world government manhunt, and that's what St. Garling wants. That's his wife. That's his prize. Which, I mean, I kind of figured that was going whenever, like, Shaky was kidnapped, and then St. Garling's like, oh, my prize will be my future wife. Yeah, it's going to be Shaky. He's like, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. So, of course, all of them want them. And this is why Rox went to God Valley. Well, one of the reasons. There's another reason why Rox goes to God Valley. And it's also where Kaido might have gotten his devil fruit, and Big Mom as well, because Big Mom's like telling Kaido, like, hey, Kaido, during this World Government Manhunt, they have devil fruits there. Maybe you can get yourself one. He's like, I just might do that. And Big Mom's like, I might find some for my children as well. Now, I don't know if I put it in here yet, so I'm going to talk about it now. The other reason why Rox wants to go to God Valley is his wife, or his mother of his child as well. I'm going to say his wife. His wife and his 2-year-old son, Teech, are on God Valley right now. That is his homeland. Oh, no, he does tell us that later. Well, I got ahead of my notes. But that's the second reason why Rox wants to go there. He's like, hey, I'd get my son and my wife out of there, and we can get Shaky out of there too, and everybody else I don't give a fuck about. We got to get them 3 people out of there for sure. This is equally the motivation of why Roger was there. Again, Roger went to save Shaky, and then Gorp just showed up because he's like, hey, Roger's going there? Oh, let me go. I've got to go there, because we know Roger and Gorp were rivals as well. On the way to the island, Rox ran into King Harold once again, since ending their friendship like 2 years ago, and he explained things once again. How the world government treats innocent people. He's telling him what's happening on God Valley. He's telling him about this manhunt and how he uses them. He's like, you're going to be used too. The second thing he tells him is that he's a descendant of Davy D. Jones. He's a descendant of Davy D. Jones, and his name is actually Davy D. X. Beck. I'm not exactly sure if I'm saying that right, but that's Rox's true name is Davy D. X. Beck. But what's crazier is, and this is where I've already mentioned it, his birthplace is God Valley, and that's where his 2-year-old son, Teech, and his wife were hiding at the same time during the manhunt. So this almost makes Blackbeard's crimes valid. Like, it almost makes Blackbeard's crash out legit. Why he hates the world government, you know, why he stole Whitebeard's devil fruit. He's like, hey, you work for my father. Give me your power. This is enough to take down the whole world. Like, it is crazy how full circle Blackbeard's motivation can seem now. It almost validates Blackbeard's, like, revenge. Rox actually came to King Harold once more to ask for his help, but Harold is still blind by wanting the giants to join the world government, so they fought again. Like, again, King Harold's like, I understand, Rox, they're doing some crazy shit. I understand your family and your wife are out there. I understand we used to be friends, but I have to do things for my people. And so they fought. And I'm just like, ugh, King Harold, wake the fuck up. They're killing innocent people. The thing that you fought the world government for and you got framed for. Anyways, this final panel might be the craziest. Now, I thought Dragon saved Teech's life because he's seen with a woman that's injured and it seems she had a single baby. But it turns out it's actually Shanks and Shamrocks. And since we know Shamrocks still became a Holy Knight, and I'm thinking, speculation, One Piece film Red might be canon. The part about Goldie Roger opening a chest and seeing Shanks inside. Maybe, and this might tie every movie in because One Piece film Gold's already been tied in. Film Strong World's already been tied in. Maybe Dragon puts Shanks into a chest and it ends up on Goldie Roger's ship. Maybe. Where Shamrocks ends up, I don't know. But that's my speculation for that. And though we don't see the mother's face like Shanks again, because Shanks' mother, I don't know if we're ever going to see her face, we might. But Blackbeard, oh no, that's in the next chapter. Okay, yeah, so we're not talking about that. I'm already skipping ahead again. But the last thing we learned is the Davy D clan is on God Valley at the same time. The world government chose the manhunt here because they intend to wipe out all of the D clan. The D stands for Davy. We finally know what the D and all the people's names are. And I was thinking it was going to be Dawn because people used to say Romance Dawn for like the first volume of One Piece. But Davy makes more sense because of Davy Jones, and again, we're getting a lot more hints about these new pirates. The Galilea, we still don't know who Davy Jones was, but this was all so exciting and insane. Now, I've actually read the next chapter, but I'm not going to do a separate video for it because although we learn a lot more, there's not much happening yet. I feel like we need to combine that one as well with some other chapters. But I finally caught back up on One Piece, so we'll all talk about it very, very soon. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this. What do you think about my speculation that One Piece film Red could be canon? That Dragon's gonna put Shanks in a treasure chest and Goldie Roger finds it. What do you think about Dragon? That's why he became revolutionary, because he saw what happened, what the world government was doing. He was in that manhunt. He was a soldier. What do you think about Gorp knowing about this manhunt and still serving the world government and then still asking Luffy to join the world government after he's seen what the fuck they do? Maybe he thought he could change the world government from the inside. And I think that is what Gorp's trying to do because he does it with Kobe. He wants the world government to be changed from the inside. He didn't stop Luffy from trying to save Ace. Maybe. And I think even Sengoku is kind of like that way because we kind of got that too with Sengoku the short time we got to see him. Anyways, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I don't want to make this too long, so I'll let you guys go for this now. I'll see you guys next one. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne: Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.